the next game. So you've got to be careful there. You think you're not a part of it, but you are part of it.
From the England point of view, when you're watching that game, do you at least think that the players are putting the effort in? The quality hasn't been there, but is the effort there?
The effort's there. Obviously, the guys are running around. No one wants to play bad. But if it's a World Cup, there's 3 points on the table to win. So there is a bit of nervousness in there because you're thinking, well, am I part of the squad? There's some guys are part of the squad and they're playing they would come on in a game. But some of the guys playing that, they know unless there's an injury, they're not coming on. So you're kind of in a kind of flux kind of moment. You've got to do it professionally, but at the same time, you're thinking, does Gareth really want me unless there's an injury? There's all kind of mind games playing in players' heads and individual heads when they kind of coming on as a B kind of team and playing in a World Cup qualifying game.
I know you've never played under Gareth Southgate, but you have played with Gareth Southgate. Is he the kind of man who at half time, if he's not happy, is going to tell them in no uncertain terms, or is he quite nice and will put his arm around their shoulder as people say?
I think he'll say that, come on guys, we can do better than that. I don't think he'll say your job or your squad number is on the line, but I think he'll try to encourage them to play a little bit more adventurous, get the ball in, just a bit more urgency around the last third. Because he needs to get something out of the game. He needs to see, like, if I need someone, who's gonna rock up? If someone gets injured in the tournament, who's gonna kind of say, right, hey, I'm working, I'm here, I'm scoring, or I'm attempting to score, I'm giving the opposition some problems. I need something. He'll need a player or 2-3 players to rock up and say, look, I'm not in the squad, but look at me.
If you're playing yourself, going back to your playing days in a back three or even a back four, and you haven't conceded at half time, are you at least thinking, well, I'm doing my job?
Job done. Yeah, you're thinking job done. It's good. You're thinking, well, at least there's no goals against me, and no one can say anything against that. So, as a backline guy, you're thinking, well, job done. But then offensively, they're going to add a little bit more.
Because up front, something that struck me is that Jamie Vardy is running around everywhere. I mean, it's the only way he knows how to play. He's running around everywhere, really trying, but he's barely getting the ball. And when he does get it, it's back to goal, which isn't his forte. So how do they play to his strength?
Well, the trouble is you've got Dyer, and Dyer won't be able to see those passes early enough. You need someone with a little bit intricate kind of play about. Henderson sometimes can see those balls. So you need someone to see him on his runs early. Because he's a quick guy. He wants to get one-on-one in situations. So you've got to play to his strengths. And at the moment, they're not kind of putting the ball on a situation that he can run onto it and then isolate one of the defenders so he can kind of maybe run past it or use his pace to get in. They're not sliding the balls in between the lines. They're playing up in the air for the back guys to kind of head or cut out. Sometimes they're going to mix up, sometimes high, sometimes through the lines.
I'm looking at the right wing back, Trent Alexander-Arnold, very young, but he doesn't look nervous at all. He constantly wants the ball. How much will that please Gareth Southgate and all of us English fans?
I think it's youth as well, let's see after 30 games, sometimes, it kind of creeps in. I think when you're a youth, when you're a young guy, you're buzzing, you just want to play, you're kind of, indestructible, you think you can just go on forever, Duracell kind of thing. So he's loving it. First World Cup, he's enjoying it, he's playing for, international, highest level possible for England. And I think he's just enjoying every moment of the tournament.
Actually, he's come closest to scoring for England with what was actually a cross that was just wide of the post. But one thing that we both noticed was Eric Dyer's got the captain's armband.
Yeah.
Did that surprise you, given that Gary Cahill's on the pitch?
Me personally, there's I don't know how he structured it. I don't know what Gareth is doing behind the scenes, but. You said there's a captain, obviously Harry, and then they've got the vice with Henderson. Naturally, you would say, Gary's won he's won the UEFA, he's won Champions League, he's won titles. You'd think just out of seniority he would get the armband because I don't know if it goes down to a third member of the squad. So for me, it's a little bit bizarre. I would be disappointed if the vice and the main captain is not there and then someone else got it. I would have been kind of a little bit complex.
Well, he's playing in a back three, and something you said earlier when you were talking about Glenn Hoddle was you quite like that system of three at the back, same under Venables. A lot of centre backs who I speak to, they prefer a back four because that's what they've always grown up with. Is there a massive difference, and how long does it take to adapt?
Well, it depends. If you're, with the three, you've got to be mobile. So the older you get, so if you're hitting 30 and you're trying to play, the three at the back, you want to be in the centre. You don't want to be in the right. You don't want to be in the left or the centre because you can control the ball, you can control the pace of the game. If you're left or right, you're going to have more legs, you're going to cover more land, a bit more of the grass. So you've got to be comfortable with space around you. I mean, the older you get, you don't want to be like that. You want to be more in the middle in a safer kind of position, and you can dictate the play. So, but the back four, I mean, yeah, we're all growing up on a back four, flat back four. But the back four can be mobile as well. You've got the right wing, and you've got the left back, and you've got the right back going forward. You've got the centre half sometimes can go in, and maybe when one of the deep midfielders drop in and cover. So, flat back four doesn't mean like it's kind of flat and it doesn't move. It's just, the three is just a bit more flexible, a bit more mobility about it.
Do you think it's more of a general question, because we've covered the game there, and we've covered what should maybe happen in the second half. But in terms of an England identity, quite often I think that we copy other people's identity. Let's play like Spain. Let's play years ago. Let's build like Clairefontaine, like France. What's wrong with saying, right, we are English. We play like this, 4-4-2, quick wingers, big man up top, little man up top, as much pace as we can get in there, defensive midfielder, attacking midfielder, and saying, right, that is the way England play, and let other people copy us.
That's a good question and answer, things like that. But when you look at the Premiership, you look at the amount of kind of influences have come from around the world, managers and coaches and things like that. So that's kind of influenced it a little bit. Yes, we're the 4-4-2 kind of guy, or maybe the diamond in midfield. But it's how we are. Brazil have a kind of a flat back four, but then the right winger and the left winger, left back and right back go up, and the midfielder drops in to make a kind of three. The Dutch are 4-3-3 guys. They've always played that. Most of the teams play that in their country. Yes, we've changed. We've gone. I think for me, it depends on the personnel. If you've got a strong back four, I think you play a back four. I think the reason why we've got back three is not only because of movement, because we haven't got a strong back four. A strong back four, you've got to cover a bit more space, and then you've got to understand a little bit more. Kind of, you're going to be on your own in one-on-one situations, and sometimes. With a back three, you've always got a body to help you quite close by. I think it helps. I don't think we've got a strong back four. I think the reason why we've got the three because it's more mobility and more strength in numbers.
There was a question I wanted to ask you pre-match, but we just ran out of time because it was kicking off. But in terms of opposition teams all around the world, was there a particular side, a particular country that you got up for playing more than anyone else? A particular country that had annoyed you in the past, or maybe geographical, like Scotland, something like that? Was there anyone you thought?
Obviously, you got the German, you got Germany, and you always want to play Brazil, because they're there. And then also you got Argentina thrown in there because of just the history and how they carry on. So, those kind of teams.
Actually, I'm going to ask you to expand on Argentina, because I want to ask you if this is true. There was a story after the 1998 World Cup, the one we were talking about earlier, where Gareth Southgate told this story, where afterwards you got on your team bus.
No, we actually weren't on the team bus.
Oh, you're on the team bus?
No, off the team bus. They were on the team bus.
But, well, you know what I'm going to ask you. So tell the story about the Argentinians really rubbing it in to you English players, even though you're both professionals.
Yeah. We're kind of, obviously, it's one of the best games ever played by England, and shame that we lost. But you just want a bit of class, and you've only got to the quarterfinals, and we're all outside with our families. They're on the coach, and all of a sudden they just went bang. They've got all their tops off, and they're waving their.
And these are the players, aren't they? These aren't fans.
These are players waving their tops around over their heads, banging on the window and saying, "Yeah, obviously in Spanish, we'll beat you, whatever." And for me, it was just like there's no class. And one of the best things for me is like when I went to Arsenal, I just remembered Dennis Bergkamp playing a fantastic, bring the ball down and then killing him off with a great volley. And that's what, for me, epitomise it. It's like, you only got to the quarterfinals, and that's how you treated us. And we've never forgot that. Obviously, the next time we played in the World Cup, we beat them 1-0. But we weren't jumping around with our tops off, because we knew that, hey,
2002,
we haven't won anything.
Yeah, it was 2002 when Beckham scored that penalty straight down the middle. You must have been, I bet you there were some players who were quite tempted.
Massive. Yeah, tempted, big time. But you have to realise you've got to be classy in that. You've not. I can understand if they won the final and get on with it, but they only got to the quarterfinals.
Right, going back to this game, pre-match, you said 2-2. Have you changed your mind? Because you did say actually pre-match that it might be quite a slow start, which you've been right with.
Yeah, and I didn't know the score completely. Now looking at it, it's both teams have changed. Basically the whole team. So obviously you're going to have players not on fire. So unless they change it and bring some kind of the guys who've been playing all the time, I might have to revise it down to even 1-1 now.
Okay, well, that'll be all right. Consider that first half.
We need some goals.
At what minute does he change it?
I think he'll change it, say half an hour to go, 25 minutes to go. Give whoever comes on enough time to kind of get into the game and change something. I think when when the players might get a bit tired, there might be a little bit more space, and then a couple of mistakes. You're just waiting for people to kind of make mistakes or get a little bit tired, and that's when things might happen.
I know it's the other end of the pitch to what you're used to, but Harry Kane is desperate to be top scorer at this World Cup, but he's not starting this game. Is he sitting there saying to Gareth Southgate, please get me on, I can score here?
Yeah, he'd probably say...
He's got 5 in 2 games.
He'd probably say, maybe get me on for 10 minutes. I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, but then Gareth might be saying, what if you get injured in the stupid, on 15 minutes, to go? So you've got to look at the bigger picture.
You've just missed a shot there of all the Tottenham players hugging each other, even though they're on different teams.
Yeah.
Would that happen if there was more riding on this game?
No, I don't think that would happen, no.
Just because it would look so unprofessional.
Yeah, you've got to be focused.
Because that wouldn't be professional, would it?
Yeah, if it was like a quarterfinals and you start doing that, it's, what are you doing? You save that to maybe after the game or whatever. But I think because there is something riding in the game, but it's not kind of do or die. I think that's the reason why that's kind of crept in.
Yeah, so at the moment, at 0-0, England are still topping the group and have supposedly, because you never know what's going to happen, the harder draw, because it would look, if we got through the last 16, big if, it looks like it would be Brazil. But Brazil have got Mexico. Yeah. And so far in this tournament, Mexico have been very impressive.
Very impressive. Not in the last game though. They're kind of all over the place, and then usually when you look at historical, even if Brazil's playing not the best, they always find a way how to beat Mexico. Even though Mexico's they're organised very well, very strong, and are great on counter-attack, and they really make the pitch wide. But Brazil can usually get through that.
Right. Just see there, Harry Maguire's come on. It looks like he's come on for John Stones, who worryingly looks like he might be injured. So Maguire's come on in the back three. Right, it looks like they're about to kick off. I really hope the
more
second
goals.
Half, I really hope the second half. Come on. And so,